Welcome to Saints on Cinema. I'm Tim Wild, and I am going through my Wild reviews of each of the X-Men movies, getting ready for Dark Phoenix. Tonight, I'm going to review X-Men 2000, the first one. I have 2 minutes to give you my Wild review of that movie. Basically, it was a neat experience watching X-Men right after watching X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think that the story threads that go together with his amnesia and everything that happens at the end of Origins is really cool. Watching them try to discover, kind of them using that as their motive. Or their leverage to get Wolverine to help the X-Men through this adventure in this movie is really cool. I like that it's a small cast. I like seeing the politics kind of coming into play a little bit. You already had the prejudice from Stryker in the first movie, and now in X-Men you have the bigger political scheme where you have the Senate and everything going on with the pulls from Magneto and Xavier. I like that you see the cast. There's a lot of really great scenes in this movie that kind of get forgotten. We don't appreciate this movie because it's been so long. It's really one of the ones that kick these Marvel movies in a way, even though it's not in the MCU. But just a few things that I really appreciated a little more that I've kind of forgotten about. A lot of the character moments. You have the awesome dynamic between Xavier and Magneto, between Wolverine and Jean Grey. They're intrigued with each other is really fascinating. Cyclops and Wolverine, they're clashing, their personality, their jives at each other, really well played, and it really gets you understanding that relationship. This is the only movie I think that really does anything with that. The second one's kind of lame for that part. I think the character Wolverine as your protagonist, kind of learning who he is and kind of a little bit of a place that he can find in this world is really exciting to watch. The cage fight scene in the beginning, the stowaway when Rogue sneaks on with him, their chemistry together. Sabretooth is kind of weird, but that's okay. You can kind of ignore that. But the motives behind Magneto, Mystique and her introduction, all the cool things about her that you kind of learn, all those things are really fascinating. They're really kind of cool to watch them come together. My time is up, but basically I think this is worth a rewatch. I think it's worth it to watch Origins and then X-Men and then X2. That's one of my favorite ones. I think it's just kind of a cool story that's coming together. This is kind of a middle act of those. Forget X3. But I think it's kind of neat to watch Wolverine in his place, having seen where he's coming from and this story arc, and then kind of where he comes out at the end of X2. That's a good trilogy, I think. But a lot of cool stuff in this movie. Didn't have time to get into all of it, but definitely worth a rewatch. And I like this movie. I really like it. I think a lot of people forget about it. Now, I don't think a lot of people hate it. They think the effects are dated and things, but there's some awesome scenes in this movie. Go check it out again. I dare you.